February State of the Galaxy. And this is a big boy too. There's a lot of stuff that happened this month. It almost feels like 2 months in one, how much stuff I gotta talk about. So, for starters, if you pay attention to any of my videos normally, not to sidetrack, but I look like I'm looking off in the distance. Where's my camera really at? Where am I supposed to look? No, anyways though. If you pay attention to any of my videos, then you would have seen that I was promoted to guild leader of my guild chosen ones a couple months back now. Basically what had happened is I've been in that guild since day one of guilds being launched. At the time of when guilds were launched, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make my own guild or join a guild. I'm not somebody who likes to be a follower. I wouldn't really say I'm a leader, but I like to be in a position of some sort of authority, decision making, and make my own path, not go with the flow. So I didn't know what to do, and I ended up just joining the guild that I'm in because this is when guilds are new, so I didn't know if there was some kind of fee that you'd have to pay to join a guild. Make a guild or what have you. Even if there's maintenance fees, I didn't know. It was a new mode, and I'm like, what the flip is this? So I joined my guild. Well, it's worked out pretty good. We've been a pretty solid guild, laid back, easygoing. We grew. Everybody was roughly the same power, so we kind of grew together. And we got to a point where we were doing pretty well. Well, throughout the course of this guild, we've had a couple shakeups. The first one was a couple years ago now. At the time, the officers that we had and some of the regular members, they get all weird and I don't know, they turned into a bunch of bullies and they were just harassing everybody. And it got bad. And then they got to the point where one of them kicked everyone out and then kicked himself out. But luckily somebody had allied us. So they sent out the invites so we could all come back. The ones that we wanted to come back, not the idiots that were starting all this trouble. But yeah, so that was the first shakeup. Now we lost half our guild at that time. But what happened is there was another guild. I forget what it's called. We used to go by an acronym. I think it was LCL. I don't remember what that stood for. But they kind of had a situation going on as well. Only it was almost backwards. Instead of the officers being like bullies, it was like the officers were doing their own thing and the rest were doing their own thing, and they just wanted to split off and just join a funner guild. So that's what happened. They came to us and it helped us stay strong and helped us continue to grow. And we reached a newer plateau now with Galactic Legends. We were starting to get people in the guild that had Galactic Legends. I think mostly one. Most people in our guild only had one because we're a free-to-play guild. We don't really put money into the game. So, but yeah. And over this time, our first leader, the original founder of that guild, was Mike Howell. And then I think he gave up on the game. I don't know if it was for personal reasons or his job or what have you, but he gave it to Flaximus. So then Flax was our leader for a couple of years. And then, was it with this shakeup? No, right before this massive shakeup. For some reason, he wanted to step down, so he handed it off to this guy, Kroll. I'll back up to Flaximus a little bit. Flax was actually the first leader that promoted me to officer, so he's always got a special place for making me be officer. And then when Kroll came along, though, he demoted me back to member. And then I understand what the point of that was. I asked him both in global chat and then I sent him a direct message as well, and he never answered me. So, opposite of Flax, because of what he did, I have a special place in my heart for him like that. F you, Kroll. He's one of my allies, and I think about unallying him because of what he's done. But the only reason I don't is because I feel like, well, he is a former guild member, and it's probably handy to have allies, so I just leave him there. But every time I scroll by his name, it's like, hey, Kroll! But anyways, Kroll didn't last very long, though. He was only our leader for, I don't know, what was he our leader for? Maybe 3 months, 4 months? A short time. And what happened is that's when we had our second mass exodus. A lot of people in the guild left. A lot of like our top players left, players with Galactic Legends and what have you. They all left, and it was weird how they coordinated this because there was nothing in the chats. There was nothing. Well, I can't say I was an officer. I don't know because they demoted me. Maybe that's why I got demoted, so then I could be out of the loop. Who knows? But there was nothing in the chats. There was nothing on Discord. It just somehow happened. Like I almost feel like maybe what happened is they sent private messages to everybody. Maybe that's what happened, and so they were coordinating within the guild, but privately, so we all didn't see. But anyways, a bunch of these players left, and it was like our strong guys. So we went from being I don't want to say a powerhouse guild, but a pretty solid guild, down to crap, basically. And by default, our next guild leader was Mr. Saltine, because I guess at this point he was like the only remaining officer. So when Kroll wanted to leave, you have to hand off the reins to somebody else before you can go. So Mr. Saltine won by default. So now when Mr. Saltine took over, luckily he was cool and re-promoted me back to officer, and he promoted a few other people as well, because he had nobody at that point. He was the last officer, now he's the leader, so he had nobody. So that's when I started hitting him up. Well, not started, but just sent him a couple messages, and I said, hey, if you ever think about leaving the guild, I only did this because we had that huge mass exodus, so I didn't know if he was going to plan on leaving, and like Kroll was only a short-term leader, so I was like, if you ever think about leaving, can you consider handing the reins over to me? I've been in this guild since day one. I care about this guild, and I feel it would be fitting and only fair. I mean, I didn't tell anybody about this channel that I have, but even that, I have this channel as well, so it's just more ammo for the, what's the word I'm looking for? More ammo for the rationale to let me be the leader. So anyways, that's when he said, if you want it now, I'll give it to you. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to steal your fire from you. I mean, I'm just saying that the day comes that you're like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. Can you consider me? And he was like, well, that day's now. I don't want to be the leader. I got it by default. So he handed it off to me, and obviously that means he had to leave the guild, but he's like, just make sure after I promote you, you let me back in. Well, it happened super quick, and by the time he handed the reins off to me, someone else had already let him back in the guild, because he was already there. I didn't have to do anything. So I re-promoted him right away to officer. One, he was officer all along anyways, and two, I just thought that would be weird to go from leader to member. And three, I mean, I only felt like it was the right thing to do. He handed me an awesome position, so I'm not going to just give him the middle finger. So, anyhow, that's how I became the leader. Well, what ended up happening is, like I said, we lost a lot of our power. I mean, we went from being like 170 million GP total down to like 100. We lost a fair amount of strong players. We went from a full guild of 50, we'd linger around 48 to 50 guild members, all the way down to, what did we have, like 33 or something, 35. And then over time, it would just keep getting lower and lower and lower, because like new guild members would join, which is cool, but they would be weak. They'd be like at 1 million GP or under. A lot of new people came in that were way under. I'm talking about 500,000 GP. Like, that is a new player. My second account that I have, the Darth Sidious Clark Jr. channel, the one that I do the replay videos with, I'm almost at 500,000 there. And like, I'm weak. I would not consider myself strong in that game at all. And that's what we were attracting. So our guild started to go downhill, and we kept losing people. And the more strong people we lost, the more weak people we were gaining. So it came to a point where everybody that was strong and still remained, I had promoted to officer. And then I promoted one doofus, Deadpool. He had some number after, like 1918 or something like that. He was weak. He was almost 1 million GP, but I figured, well, maybe we should get proper representation of everybody. So since a lot of weak people are here, let's get a weak person to be an officer, just so that we then, it's someone that the weaker people can relate to. You know what I mean? Like, these weak players at 500,000 GP aren't going to be able to relate to someone like me who's at 5.2 million. I'm way out of their league. But someone like Deadpool, who's only double their GP, they can relate to him. So, anyhow, I did that, but then unfortunately, these officers kept dropping off. They'd stick it out, and then they'd be like, sorry, but this just isn't working out, blah, blah, blah. So they drop off. Well, as a result, what ended up happening is we were missing out on every territory war, because in order to do a territory war, you need to have 25 people sign up. Well, we had 25 people in our guild. The problem is 1017. The problem is you know how people are. They join a guild, but then they don't participate. And it's like, well, why are you in this guild if you don't want to participate? Like, that defeats the whole purpose. You should be in a guild because you want to get those rewards and help yourself advance and move on, participate in the raids and the territory wars and territory battles and all that, and help the guild, which in turn helps yourself. And these people just weren't participating. We'd have 33 people in the guild, but only 20 people would sign up for territory war. So we kept missing out on territory wars every time. When territory battles came around, forget the Geonosian one. At first, we just weren't even strong enough to do it. Or let me back up. GP-wise, we were still strong enough to do it, but the people that would participate just weren't strong. And then it got to a point where we didn't even have enough GP anymore to even try to. You need to have 100 million GP to be able to, like, register for a Geonosian territory battle. And, you know, we ended up getting down to, like, 75 million. So we couldn't even qualify for it anymore. And then the territory battles that we were doing, you know, those are, the basic ones are easy. We easily used to be able to get like 35 stars. Easily, like people not even really trying, you'd still get 35 stars. And now we're pulling like 15. And it was like, seriously? It got bad. And then it also got to the point where we couldn't complete the heroic Sith raid anymore. Forget the challenge tier of the pit raid. That wasn't an option anymore. I mean, it never really was, but at least when that first launched, we still had a full guild, so we were able to compete the first time it came out. Then after that, we had nobody strong. We can't do anything in that. I think we put a dent in tier 1, and it was just like, alright, well, this is a waste of our time. And then as far as the pit raid, we weren't able to sim that anymore. Which, pit raid's easy, so it's no problem to compete in it. I mean, you can solo the pit raid with a CLS, but on auto. Like, that's how easy it is. But still, it's kind of, you feel it when you can't just sim it. What's it called? Autocomplete anymore. And then that left the tank raid. Well, with everybody being so weak, basically I can solo the tank raid. I can't do it with one team. I can do it with everybody collectively, but I wouldn't solo it. I would just solo phase 1, 2, and 3, and then leave phase 4, because I figured that's easy. It's an easy enough round in general, and if they can't complete it, we're far enough that I can just hop in and bang it out. 10 minutes, done. Which never was required. Everybody was able to complete that tier just fine. So, the last tank raid that we had, obviously I was in first. I had like 24.5 million points total. And then the person that was in second had a little over 8 million, which was Stabone, one of my officers, and he was, you know, a stronger player as well. Well, after we got the rewards, I went in to check the tank raid again, the rankings, just because sometimes the rankings are delayed. Like, you complete a raid and it says, you know, ooh, you came in third, like, and then, you know, half hour later you check again and it says you're in fifth, and you're like, well, what the heck, I thought I was in third. So I just wanted to see if the rankings were the same, that Stabone was still in second and what have you. And when I went to check, it said Mola Liza. Well, I knew Stabone was in second, and I knew what his score was, and now it's saying Mola Liza with that same score, and I'm like, what? Because when it says Mola Liza, that's the generic name that the game gives you when somebody leaves the guild. So then I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Stabone left? So then I check the roster. I go to my officers and he's not there. And I'm like, he left. And then I check my inbox, and that's when I see there's a messages from him that says, sorry man, I tried to stick it out, but I just can't do this. We keep missing territory wars, and this last time was the last straw for me. And I get it. I can't have bad feelings, but it was just sucked. There was another guy good that we lost, and that brought us down to like 69 million GP total. And I was like, we are becoming such a pathetic guild. We used to be so good, and now we're just trash. So it got me, just out of curiosity, I was just browsing around looking for guilds myself. I was like, I don't want to leave, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to stay in a guild that's not getting anywhere either. So I started looking around, and I found this one that had 49 out of 50. One spot left. It didn't require Discord. It sounded super laid back and casual, and I was like, man, this sounds pretty good. And it's called Leroy Jenkins Hunters. I don't understand the Leroy Jenkins. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Is it Star Wars related? I don't know. But anyway, I saw it, and like they seemed exactly like what we used to be when the guild first started. So, needless to say, I just went for it. I left the Chosen Ones, and now I'm part of Leroy Jenkins Hunters. It was sad, because I've been with that guild forever, and I became the leader, but I felt like it was the best option. So anyways, when I left, I ended up handing off the reins to Most Deferens. The guy didn't talk to me or anything. I chose him because I recognized the name. I know he's been in the guild for a while. So I figured, well, I was going to give it to Deadpool. Because I was like, this looks like the direction where the guild's going. It's just new crappy players, so I might as well just give it to a new crappy player. But I was like, no, because there was still a few good players left. And I was like, I don't want to like insult them by handing off the reins to someone who sucks, especially compared to them. So I gave it to Most Deferens. Well, shortly after Most had, he went to Discord and said, hey, does anybody still use this? And then that's when I said, hey, I'm here. And I was worried. I was like, oh man, I hope he's not going to be mad that I ditched the guild. Because that's basically what I did. I mean, I ditched the guild and just gave it to him. Here you go, you're the leader now. No discussion, no nothing. Just a rash decision. I went to leave the guild and it said you need to choose somebody to take over. So I was like, okay, Most Deferens. Boom, bam, done. Bye, see ya. And then here he was coming out and I'm like, oh God, is he going to harass me? But he didn't. He was actually wicked cool about the whole situation. And he was just like, oh, I saw you left, and now I'm the officer, lol. I mean, the leader, lol. And I'm like, yeah, I chose you because I saw you were in the guild for a while, blah, blah. And he was like, well, honestly, I don't want to be the leader. He's like, I don't think I want to be in this guild anymore either. We lost too many good people. He's like, where did you go? And at the time, my guild was full. I mean, I told you it was 49 out of 50. So he's like, well, I'll start looking. And he wanted to join my guild, but it was so difficult trying to coordinate between him and then my guild. Like, I was being a middleman, and I'm trying to coordinate. I don't know the guy in real life, Most. It's not like I could text him. So, like, my guild would be like, hey, is your guy available? And I'd try to hit up him, and he wouldn't answer. And then hours later, he'd answer, but then my guild wouldn't answer. So, I kind of gave up on that about 2 weeks ago now. Sorry, Most. I thought it'd be cool if you could join the guild and continue on so we could be a group still. But it wasn't working out. It was too much hassle being a middleman. So anyways, he did say he left the guild though, and he said, the funny part is he said he was handing the reins off to Deadpool, and I was like, are you serious? That's what I was gonna do, but I chose you instead. So apparently now Deadpool is the leader of Chosen Ones, and yeah, poor Most, as far as I know, he's not even in a guild. It would be cool if he could be part of my new guild, but like I said, it was just too much logistically. But anyways, yeah, I was just thinking how crazy that was too, though, with my guild. Like, it went from Kroll to Mr. Saltine. Kroll, Mr. Saltine, me, Most Deferens, and now Deadpool. 5 leaders within a matter of like a few months. What's even crazier would have been when I left, because that means it went I left, then Most got it, then he left, and then Deadpool. Most was the leader for like 5 hours. So that must have been weird. Like, if you're in the guild and you just keep seeing the leader change, you're like, oh man, this guild does not seem very promising. Which is sad, because it's not anymore. It was promising, and now it's just falling apart. But yeah, so anyways, all this happened at the beginning of the month. I think it was January 6th when I left the guild. And then I think I last corresponded with Most on the 15th. So, yeah. I mean, my new guild's pretty cool. One thing I really like about the new guild is they, Chosen Ones, when we had territory wars, they'd always try to strategize. Like, oh, set up only, Geos in this area. Set up Jedi in this area. My new guild, they don't care. They just say, set up. Put things out there. Let's get some defense. So that's awesome. And they also don't care about, like, limits on how much damage you put in a raid. Again, my My last guild, that's what they worried about all the time. Oh, 2 million damage only. If you go over that, you'll be kicked. I mean, I never had to worry about that for a long time because I was an officer, so it didn't matter. But, like, that was a policy. And this guild is just super laid back. And the best part is no Discord. I think Discord is so stupid. This is a freemium game. Like, they have an in-game chat you can use. You don't need to use an app. Like, the way I see it, this is my phone. You know, this is my memory and stuff. I don't want to have a stupid app on my phone that I don't really need just so I can play a game. So this new guild, no Discord, no nothing. They've been talking about setting up a Discord, but it's just super optional. They're never going to make it mandatory. Even if they set one up, it's just for anybody who's interested to have. So that's super awesome too. So this guild's pretty cool. The thing that I really just don't like is I'm back to just a member. I've been an officer for like 2 years, plus a leader for 3 months, and now I'm just a nobody again. I'm trying to prove my worth though. Right now we had a territory battles, geo-territory battles, and I placed 2nd place with damage. So I'm like, well, hopefully they see me as an asset, like I'm putting up numbers for them. But anyways, so that huge story out of the way. Now let's move on to the actual changes in game.
All right, so on to the real part. First, we're going to start with ships, just because it's easier, quicker. Still a lot of exciting stuff happened. Since we're already here, for starters, I unlocked the Emperor's Shuttle, which is actually coming along pretty juicy. I'm at 31 out of 65. Whew, I didn't know I was that far along, too. But yeah, it ended up being pretty beefed up right away because of Papa Palp being relicked, and, well, Royal Guard's already gear 12. Pretty soon I'll be able to add this, too. 5 stars, halfway there, just about. Hyena Bomb is getting there too. 82 out of 100. Wicked close. Hopefully next month it'll finally be 7-star. And that'll be handled. Oh, yep. This one too. Rebel Y-Wing. We got this one up to 6 stars. There's a lot more that happened in ships than I thought. And this month's been a lot of stuff that happened though, like I said. Oh yeah, I got Poe's ship up too. That's right. I don't normally care about Poe's ship at all, but Poe's ship's exciting because I needed it to be 5-star for the Radis. So hopefully, when that comes back around, I can compete in the Radis. Not like I care, I haven't worked on Amelin, so even if I unlock this, it really doesn't matter because, you know, she's weak. But still, it'd be cool to add it. And then if you see this, all I need is Malevolence, Radis, and the TIE Bomber. That's pretty juicy too. I'm wicked close to having every ship. So that's kind of exciting. Anyways, probably the biggest thing though is right here. Finalizer is 5 stars. That's juicy. Obviously, if you follow my videos, you saw when I did this anyways. It was when I was doing the strategy on how to go about getting the shards, which now that strategy doesn't even matter. Now this is 5-star. I can have 3 ships that 3 ships that you can call in on standby. So it just makes it so much easier. There was just a finalizer event the other day, and I autoed it, and it was easy. Just hit auto and went. It was simple. You don't even need strategy anymore. But this is awesome right here. Moving on up. All right, now on to the characters. That's where it's at. There's a lot. So for starters, I think this happened this month. I got Treya up to gear 13. So far she's only relic 2, but I'm working on it. I mean, I'm only gonna go to relic 4. That's just what I do with these characters. And as you see, her mods are literally halfway there to 6-star. Malik, this one was juicy. So a couple things happened with Malik. One, I was able to finally get him to 7-star. Once I left my original guild and I joined this new one, we did a territory war or something, territory battle maybe, and I had enough currency to finally get him to 7-star. Then secondly was I just recently laid down his piece to go to gear 12. So I also just did this one today as well. So he's start working on this stuff, get him up there, get him to relic status. That's where he really shines. So another one that's super awesome. So much has happened to this guy right here, Hawks. I'm pretty sure last month Hawks was only like gear 9, maybe gear 10. He is almost gear 13. All I need is this stuff. I have this piece done. I have this one literally halfway, and then this one is, a third of the way. But yeah, by next month he will definitely be gear 13. He'll definitely be, I think he needs to be relic 5 for Kylo, so he'll be at relic 5, and yeah, Hux came along quite a ways. I haven't done anything with Mando yet. He's still gear 9, still same mods and everything. The only thing about him is I gave him both the Zetas. I know giving him the leader Zeta is kind of worthless, but as I've said in the past, I like to give all the characters all their Zetas, and I figured, well, I gave him the one. I think it's for, this one? So, is it for that one? Yeah, it's gotta be. So I gave him that one, so I figured, whatever, I'll just give him his other one, too. All the characters that I have up here flagged as favorited, those are the characters that I'm actively working on. So, is up here. But he's only up here as a joke, more or less. Like, I've been wanting to get into Gear 12 forever because he's probably easily the most worthless character in the game. I know everybody makes jokes about Cup, but at the end of the day, Cup actually has, 2 moves that do damage? Only has the one, Gaffy Stick Slam. And it's not even that good. I mean, it sounds decent. Deal physical damage to target enemy with a 60% chance to stun for 1 turn. But in practice, he sucks. He's terrible. Like, the only reason I've ever worked on him was because when I was a newer player, I needed more, what was it, maybe dark side characters or something? And I got him from free out of the Bronzium packs, and so I just worked on him. I mean, during those days, too, the game had a lot less characters, so you used what you had. And was one of those characters. But yeah, he's so worthless, but that's why I want to get him to Gear 12 just as a joke. But the thing is this piece has been needed by a few characters. One was Malik. Obviously, I'm going to give it to Malik, not him. And the other one was, who else did I hook up? Oh, I think I might know who. We'll get to him a little bit later. So he's still sitting here. I still plan on getting him to Gear 12 as a joke, but maybe next month. Who else is new? Kira, she's up here now. Ooh. Anyways, Kira's up here because there's that event that comes along. I don't remember what it's called, but it uses whatever she is. I don't know, scoundrels, I guess. And she's like the only scoundrel with a leader ability. So I'm able to do the top tier, but I always lose at least 2 of my guys. So I thought maybe if I worked on somebody that had a leader ability, that would help. They would get bonuses from that leader ability, and we'd do better. Well, turns out the only one was Kira, so I was like, well, you know what? F it then. I'll just work on her and see what happens. I haven't yet had a chance to try her out, but we'll see. What does she need anyways? That's fair. To go to Gear 10. Wow, she's beefier than I thought she was. Also up here is the SF TIE pilot. I might have actually already worked on him last month. I think I did this to get to the 5 million GP. I don't know. But if I haven't talked about him yet, he's here. Obviously, I need to work on him for Supreme Leader Kylo anyways. Yeah, so I think that's it up here. Now, scrolling down a smidge. We also got Bastilla beefed up this month. I actually got her to Relic 13 after Traya. The only reason I put her to Relic 4 before Traya, though, was because her mods were already finished. I had her mods 6-dotted way before I started relicking characters. I basically worked on 6-dotting mods for who I thought was worth it at that time. Bastilla was good with Jedi Knight Revan, so I worked on her mods. So yeah, she just got finished today, actually. I just got her to Relic 4. So, yeah. Oh, another one. I don't know what the status was last month. I don't know if I already had Phasma started to get worked on or what, but in any case, Phasma's finished off, Relic 5, and 6-dot mods. Who else we got going on? Nihilus. I gave Nihilus his 2nd Zeta. I don't think that was this month. That was recent though, right? It might have been last month that I gave Nihilus his 2nd Zeta. His leader Zeta. Same as the time I did Luke Overe. I don't think this was this month, but Luke Overe with his 2 Zetas and stuff. That's just almost like a joke, just like working on. Let's see. Oh, Veteran Smuggler. I don't know when this all happened, but he's halfway there to Gear 13, which I need him beefed up as well for the Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo. I didn't realize he had Gear 12 and a half already. That's pretty cool. I don't think I did that this month. I'm just pointing it out because I just noticed. Anyhow, here's one that got worked on. So Sidious has a funny story. He was sitting at Gear 12 and a half, or 11 and a half, I mean, for the longest time. What he needed was 2 of those balls. I don't know what they're called. They're the gold balls. They make me think of those balls that you can chase down in Saints Row 4. And if you catch it, you destroy it, and then it forgives all your notoriety. Yeah, he needed 2 of those, and he needed something similar to what needs. It had like the same pipe piece, but then it had different. The first 2 components were something different. But anyways, what happened was we finished a bunch of stuff. I think we finished a couple raids and a territory war or something. And so I was just scrolling through to see what my options were. I always do that. I always scroll through first before I put down any gear, just to see what anybody's got going on. And I noticed he had all 3 of his components lit up, so we could go to Gear 12, and I was like, what? Well, it turned out 2 of those were the balls, and one of them was the specials thing. So I laid down one of the balls and one of the special things. Now, as far as the other ball, I think I was literally like halfway, like 25 out of 50. So I was like, well, geez, this is pretty close. So I started working on that. Now, roughly around the same time as that, I had another Zeta ready to go. So I laid down his Zeta on him as well. And then as far as his mods were, I think they were like Kira. You know how she just had that one blue one? And now I got it to purple, and then all I gotta do is get it to gold. So that was the same thing almost like with him. He was super close all in all. So I was like, you know what, might as well just do it. Zeta, Gear 12, and work on his mods. And then he even was able to get this one when I got him to Gear 12. So yeah, Sidious was not planned at all. I didn't care about working on him, but it kind of worked out. And I figure he does have some value to work on him because he's needed for C, which I figure that probably will be the next one that I work on after I get Kylo. I mean, it only makes sense currently anyways. I mean, who knows? Maybe by then they'll have 2 new Galactic Legends, and maybe one of those will be more practical to go after. But at this point, C's my best option. I mean, Rey, I'm never going to go after Rey. I'm not working on the trash characters that are required for her, like Rose Tico and Amilyn Holdo and all those other crappy characters. And as far as Grandmaster Luke, well, there's 2 things. One, out of all the Galactic Legends, he's the worst one. I mean, easily the worst one. I mean, obviously he's still wicked good. He's a Galactic Legend, but compared to the other ones, he's, I made a video on this. He's in last. He's not the best. Second, his requirements are just too much right now. You need to have Jedi Knight Luke. And to get Jedi Knight Luke, you need Wampa to be relicked, and I need Hermit Yoda to be relicked. I need a lot of characters in line just so I can get Luke. And that way then I can try to get Grandmaster Luke. So it's too much work. I don't feel like doing that. C is a lot more straightforward. The characters you need are just as is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need... It's not like a... What's the word I'm looking for? There's not a chain of characters that you need to just unlock one character that's part of the overall listing for this other character. So, anyways, I figured it's worth it to lay down on Darth Sidious. He's going to have to get to Gear 13 anyways, so that then I can get C, so might as well. It just gives me a little bit of a leg up now. Anyhow, I can't remember about Sabine. I don't think Sabine I worked on this month. But I know this happened recently. It's just kind of cool because, it's been taking me forever to get her beefed up. And, it's just cool to see her Gear 12 and Zeta now, finally, after she's been sitting at Gear 11 forever. The ironic thing, too, is this month, February, is, the login reward is Sabine. I'm like, that's so ironic, because in this game and my second game, I want to work on her, but it just doesn't happen. And it's just so weird that that's the login now. Sabine. It's cool though, it's someone different. They keep recycling the same characters over and over, so it's kind of cool. At least Sabine's somebody different. Anyhow, moving on. I do want to work on Zam. I keep getting... Oh, this is the ball I was talking about. This thing, the balls. Yeah, this one makes me think of the Saints Row one. But yeah, I've been wanting to work on her because I do use her with my bounty hunters. And I'm like, it would only be worth it to lay down her Zeta and get her to gear 12. But I don't know. Eventually it'll happen. Kind of like Wedge. I had him sitting at gear 11 forever. Now look at him. He's gear 12 and a half. Like, how did that happen? Oh yeah, here's another one that I got beefed up. Snowtrooper. That's the other one. I said there was one other character that needed it, but the same exact thing as it was him. It was Malik and Snowtrooper. I figured Snowtrooper is obviously a better option than because he's not as worthless. Sucks. So I figured putting down that part and getting Snowtrooper gear 12 would be a better option. So yeah, he's another one. I forgot about him until I was scrolling through here. One thing I noticed that's pretty cool is the amount of Zetas that I have left, at least for the characters I've worked on. I think I'm down to like 9 Zetas left. That's awesome. For the longest time, there's been so many options, and now it's starting to get more narrow. Like, oh, I only have 9 options? I mean, yeah, granted, there's a lot of characters I haven't worked on that need Zetas, so that's, you know, that's not what I'm trying to discard. I'm just saying that out of the characters I have worked on, there's only 9 left that need their Zetas, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, back to the progress from this month. So we also got Grief up to gear 12. So far he's not, I mean, gear 12, what am I talking about? 7-star. So far he's nothing special. I haven't worked on him yet. Obviously I'm going to need to, so that way then I can get Beskar Armor Mando, but for now he'll just hang out until everyone else is ready to go. No, there's one more. Oh, Director Krennic. So I used to casually work on him through the Territory War currency, and then he's available in, I don't know, some hard node 9 something. Well, anyways, I noticed he was at like 97 out of 100 or something ridiculous like that, 91 out of 100, I don't know, and I was like, man, why don't I just finish him off? So that's what I did, finished him off. Now he's 7-star. Boom, don't have to think about him anymore. Who else? Ooh, Sith Empire Trooper. He's another one too. I had him with some fair amount of progress too, and I kind of just, I don't want to say I forgot about him, it's just I've been working on all these other characters instead, because again, like Beskar Armor Mando and stuff, I've been working on trying to get the characters beefed up for him, so I haven't been worried about like secondary characters. Well, Sith Empire Trooper got to 7-star because of one of the galactic challenges. He was part of the prize. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. I got him up to 7-star now, which I've actually been thinking about working on him. I don't want to per se, just because, you know, again, I don't want to be a broken record, but I am trying to work on getting Supreme Leader Kylo, and I feel like that's more worth my time and effort. But I feel like working on him because I know he can be a pretty solid tank, for one, and for two, I hear in a Sith Empire team with Darth Revan lead, he's actually a much better option than using HK-47. Now, I know HK-47 can put up huge hits. He's done it for me several times. He can do some serious damage. But I hear, just in general, he's the Empire Trooper is a better option than HK. So it is an idea. I could switch out him for HK, or I could switch him out for Sith Marauder. Again, Sith Marauder is actually really good. He's very much an underrated character. He's a very good character, but at the same time, you know, just to kind of theory craft, I could switch him out and keep HK and just see what happens. So I don't know. I don't know when I'll do it, but it is something I am thinking about. And now I think we're getting down to just the random stuff. Oh, Wampa! Yeah, I finally unlocked Wampa, so that's cool. One more character added to my roster, and just that much tiny bit more progress towards Jedi Knight Luke. Yeah, it's gonna take forever. It's probably gonna take a year, if not more, but at least I got him. And I'm at 10 out of 85 for 6 stars, so that's something. IG-11 over here, I got him the 4-star. He's cruising along. He's 34 out of 65 to 5-star, so that's good. It's gonna take a while to get him up to 7-star, but you know, he's getting there. Same as Queel. Queel is cruising right along. 52 out of 65. He's almost 5-star. He's knocking on the door. Anybody else have anything? Cara Dune? No. Admiral Pia. Oh. This one's kind of a joke, but I got the armorer. It's just a joke because obviously there was the event, but still, technically it is something that happened this month. We got a new character, and I do have her in my crew. And that might actually be it. I don't think anybody else had any progress. Yeah, these characters down here. Ugh, so many of them that I need. I remember at one point I was so close to having every character too. It was awesome. And now they add all these galactic legends and it's like, oh, cool. Now I'm always going to be behind. Ugh. But yeah. So I think that's it. I'm just going to show the Leroy Hunters stuff really quick. Like I said, my guild, Leroy Jenkins Hunters. 163,996,496. And here it is. No crappy rules. Just be respectful. Spelled wrong. Active. And read chat. No Discord. Fully heroic. Super awesome. So yeah. That's it for the State of the Galaxy. Definitely felt like it was more stuff than that in this part. But it still was a lot in general. And that's all. Until next time, you already know. I said see ya.